One of the things I love about Minecraft is the almost limitless nature of the game. The possibilities are almost endless. The materials with which we choose to build, they're being expanded with every update. It's very exciting in terms of what to build next and the search for inspiration, the almost infinite possibilities. And being part of a great community is a great start for staying inspired. So I'm curious, what keeps you inspired? This is Von Tom 2020 with 2020 MC Gaming. Welcome back to our series on the FrilCraft server, where we are going to pick up on the cathedral build by continuing with the walls and the floor. We're going to try to take a new approach to this episode. We're going to try to move through the build at a slightly faster pace so that we can see the build come together or get a better overall picture of what the finished product is going to look like. Otherwise we'd be here looking at block by block getting dropped, weeks. So this is a survival server, and it's supported by FrilCraft on it's his Patreon server. So this is being built entirely in survival mode. So in between episodes, Wah and I are, and mostly Wah, we're collecting the materials bit by bit, trying to put it all together. It's so as I mentioned earlier on one of the other videos, one of my friends commented, and I was thinking to myself, I had to go ahead and just put down a blooper reel at the end showing all the occasions where I got whipped by some mob or fell off the walls or something like that. Something to look forward to there. So let's see if we can get an aerial view. There's Wah. Let's see if we can get a nice aerial view. And here's the base. We're going to do a flyby of the entire thing, and then try to come back around to the cathedral. And ouch. Okay, we might have to try that one again. So let's settle down here. Let's get. All right, let's try that again. Let's do that aerial view one more time. Okay, here we go. Coming in hot. Hashtag flyby. Right through that creeper. Yeah. Alright, here's our base, and we're going to come around, and we're going to try not to run into anything this time. And, living dangerously here. Here we go. Alright, coming together. So the base is going to come out quite a bit, but this is what we've got so far. So, there we go. Nice. Now, like I've mentioned before, I've never really worked with these materials or the so-called desert palette before. So a lot of what you're seeing, this is really kind of new to me. I've had to play around a lot. I'd been looking forward to doing a rather large build and kind of challenging myself a little bit, because it does take a lot of planning. So when we first settled on this desert for our main base, I kind of felt like I was at a little bit of a loss, and I really had no idea what to do. I was still thinking in terms of stone and andesite and some of my more favored materials. So when I started playing with this, it was a little difficult at first, So on our previous server, I had just been playing around the desert temple right before we came over here to this server, and I found myself in a desert temple, and I tried to rebuild the thing, and the block choices for that particular biome were kind of new to me, and it wasn't fitting together as a base, and I couldn't get it to gel, So I got in creative mode and played around in a generic world in a desert biome, and I wanted to have like the real terrain going on instead of doing it like in a super flat. So I just found a desert biome and spent an entire afternoon playing around with new patterns. And finally, I got some ideas that I liked, and started playing around with them in survival, but only for like a couple of sessions. And it wasn't until Juan and I came over here to FrilCraft and started settling on this as the area where we're going to put our base, where I really started really had a chance to use those ideas that I came up with in creative mode. So for further inspiration, I also spent a little bit of time on checking out architecture on Google and Google Images, and the flying buttress that I'm working on right now. That's where I got some of the ideas about how to tie the architecture together. I wanted to look grounded, so these right here are the base columns for the flying buttresses that are going to be supporting the second and third floors. So moving into these front towers here, they're just like the face and the front of the whole build. And so once we get up here, you can see how I've only got one floor built so far. I'm going to be raising this area up by about another 2 floors, where this is one. Oh, got to watch those ladders. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to start working our way around and adding the next floor. And thank goodness for shulker boxes, because before we got those, stuff like this was wow. So putting the windows together using the stripped birch, I'm probably going to have to start laying it out on the ground and stripping it before I actually add it to the build. I mean, this walking around on top of the wall trying to strip these logs and put these segments together with stripped birch like this or with regular birch and then stripping it up here, that's yeah, not so fun. So when I was looking at architecture on Google Images, one of the things that inspired the flying buttresses was the Chartres Cathedral in Notre Dame. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I'm going to put a link for Google Images search for that particular building. It is absolutely beautiful, very inspiring, and it was looking at the pictures of the flying buttresses on the side of that building that really got me inspired for parts of this one, and also the front entrance down there with the arches. That was also inspired by the Chartres. And for the front towers here, it was actually the bell tower for a medieval cathedral in Jerusalem. So for right here, using the birch wood as opposed to the birch logs and then stripping them. So it's in effect, it's a stripped birch wood instead of a stripped birch log. You see the texture is different. So when you view the window from the bottom and look up past through the fence gates, it's got the nice smooth texture on all 4 sides, and it works a lot better than having the growth rings that you see on the stripped birch logs, which it works in certain places, and I've used it in floors to some good effect, but maybe not for the windowsills. I think it would subtract from the way that the windows are supposed to look. So this building, whoa, yeah, see this high wire act, trying to get the details in place in survival. A lot of scaffolding required, a lot of stepping back, climbing down, and stepping back to try to get a look at it from to see if it's going to look right from out in the yard. It's a little bit difficult sometimes, and when you're trying to work on some minute detail. And those of you who have really got into larger builds and creative, it's one thing in creative. And it's another thing when you're, falling off of walls and getting attacked by creepers. So tying in the front towers to this area right here is probably going to be one of the more difficult parts of of this first ground floor level, because the way that the patterns work together, you got to be really careful about when you bring them in so that they actually tie in together. So almost done with that one, and working now on the walkway that's going to go a walking lane through the flying buttresses down the side of the building. I was wanting to put a place in here where to actually make this something you could walk through, and so I'm hoping to add staircases on the inside so that when you're inside the build walking around, you can actually find your way along these walkways to look down into the area where the landscaping is going to be around the building, and to try to you make it more than something that you just look at from like the main floor or from outside, something you can actually walk through. So a little bit more design required to tie all that together, but got high hopes. So more high wire act. We're on the other tower, trying to finish it up, and hopefully by the end of this particular episode, we'll have both front towers up, and we'll be able to get another aerial view. Maybe even try to walk through the front gate and catch a glimpse of the thing coming together from the ground floor. I'm really excited about getting this thing done, but it's gonna be a little bit of work. But the idea that I had in mind when I first got into this in creative mode, it's actually working. So yeah, look at those floors. Yeah. All right, so this is one of the hard parts right here, because the fence gates, they have this little interrupt box at the top, and man, I walked off this wall so many times today. So here we go, some finishing up the details on the heads of the columns for the second floor, and well, here we go. Yeah, that high wire act. Whenever you need to climb down and take a look, you just jump off. So the inspiration for this build is one thing, and then getting it together in Creative World, that was the tough part. I'm really hoping to come down from get it a little bit more done. I want to get a little bit more done on this, and I want to start swinging by and visiting some of our server mates' bases. I had an opportunity to meet a couple of people, visit their bases to see what they're doing, and there's some really great stuff going on. And there's some really great farms that we're going to need to tour if we're going to get a really good idea about what is to be seen on this server. And the some of the people that we're working with here, they're really cool. Trade materials and everything, yeah, keep you supplied. So there's a guardian farm, and there's a someone had a handle on a witch hut, and they're planning on doing a witch farm, which is an excellent source of sticks. The last time I built a witch farm, it was all about the sticks. No more crafting sticks out of logs. Save your logs for your build. Get your sticks from your witches. Nice arrangement. That and glass bottles. And you get some glowstone dust too, I guess. But I'm all about the sticks and glass bottles. And that reminds me, I've been really wanting to see if I couldn't come up with a witch head, but they don't spawn often enough. We get that witch farm going. Hopefully, it'll have a XP kill chamber in there where you can go in there and whack at them with a sword a little bit. Try to get some of those witchy drops and a witchy head. That'd be cool. All right, so as I'm finishing up this tower, I'm looking forward to putting out some more videos and maybe moving through the progress a little bit quicker, doing some more flybys, and as the walls get taller, we'll really be able to see what's going on. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode. So I want you to be sure to comment below on how you stay inspired, and don't forget to check out some of the videos posted by our server mates. We've got 2 other people posting videos on this channel for specifically to this server. And then we've got FrilCraft's channel, which is really great if you haven't been there yet. He just posted a video for a 60 village iron farm, which is absolutely fabulous. And then if you've enjoyed us today, make sure to give us a like and subscribe for more content like this, including some of the upcoming tours we're going to be doing of other people's bases on this server. And remember to follow us on Twitter so you can stay updated. So with that, I'd like to thank you for stopping by and have a great day.